And it would be one of the Oracle of MATSU and would be the Neftas Tianlang of KANITAMA. Last round, we saw MATSU able to use his Oracle every single game, and it didn't end well for his enemy. But this time, he will not get to use Oliver, which I haven't seen MATSU use today. So potentially, we are seeing another triple Oracle game. And what will KANITAMA do to prevent this from happening? First pick more coming out from MATSU here, switching it up a little bit, going a bit more aggressive this time against this turn 1 player. So we'll be seeing some sort of Chiwu Cigar or Tianlang Gani coming out from KANITAMA to get a turn 1 team going as well. It's going to be Neftas being picked up first into potentially, it's going to be Neftas Mouse for KANITAMA, and it's going to be Changpeng Rakuni for MATSU. This seems very familiar to their first day matches. And look at Rakuni's stat, guys. In Group C, it has a 50% win rate, and in total, actually below average win rate for the Rakuni. But the fact that Rakuni is being used in almost every single game, it is not surprising to see that his win rate is not exactly amazing. We have Chiwu and Cigar getting picked up by KANITAMA as well. So if we are going for some similar drafting in the first day, we might be seeing the similar result from this match as well, potentially. But MATSU, he is a top tier player. He is going to be able to pivot from what... Wow, very different from what he played. Very, very different. We are seeing Heigang and Volantis getting picked up by MATSU here. Heigang is extremely good against Chiwu, and Volantis is very good against any AoE strip attempt coming out from KANITAMA. And the last pick is going to be a strong healer immunity unit from KANITAMA. It's going to be Patter getting picked up. The LD Druid came out to play for this round. So it looked like it might be a Patter ban and potentially MATSU trying to out-sustain. But that is not going to be easy because Neftas is extremely crazy. So maybe it's going to ban out in Neftas here. Even if KANITAMA get the turn 1 strip, he might not be able to do much without the Neftas. It's going to be the Patter ban. It's going to be the Heigang ban. MATSU will let KANITAMA get turn 1. Chiwu strip is very, very good against Volantis attack bar gain. So maybe KANITAMA is having the upper hand in the draft right now. Here comes the Chiwu with the AoE strip. But remember, Mora can cut in between and push back the enemy team as well with his strip. Here we go. Getting a strip, getting the pushback. Mora going in between. And he has the strip available. And the Changpeng is going to be moving in front of enemy team. But the glancing debuff is going to stop him being so effective. But he is kind of effective actually. But he didn't get the increased cooldown on both the Cigar and the Neftas, which means with one Violent prop, they can cause a lot of problem for MATSU. Here comes the Rakuni heal, cleansing attack by boost for the team, and the Volantis will have the glancing debuff ready to go, but will be enough to stop the Neftas and the Cigar from... Oh my god, this Changpeng with a despair stun on the Cigar, but the Neftas is going to Violent Pro out the stun and providing debuff on the team. But the problem with this is that there's no following up from the Neftas. Neftas is a great setup unit, but she's not exactly good at doing damage because there's no follow-up right now. MATSU with Rakuni healing will slowly cleanse the entire debuff coming out from the Neftas. And with no follow-up, who's going to do the damage here? Who's going to carry the boat for the Neftas? Nobody. And Volantis is going to get another chance to throw in the AoE, provoking the Mouse, provoking the Chiwu. Another round of AoE dispersion coming out from the Moore as well. Cigar is not getting a turn that he needs because the Volantis is about to move. The Neft is going to Violent Proc out, but she is now out of ammo. She doesn't have the AoE anymore, and she can't silence anybody just yet. Cigar with a glancing debuff. Can he push back the entire enemy team attack bar? But I know someone is not going to push back, and that's going to be Rakuni. The Volantis Revenge going to take down the Cigar as well. And he doesn't have any skill because of the reset, but he doesn't need to because KANITAMA unit is dropping one by one. Rakuni keeping everybody alive, giving turn to the Changpeng for another pushback. And GG! MATSU taking game 1. Oh my god, MATSU came back strong. He is He's destroying every single opponent in this bracket, proving to be a real challenger in the loser bracket here. He might be going to the final if he keep up this momentum. And he's also my prediction, so I'm a little bit biased, just a little bit, guys, but don't worry about it. Round 2 between MATSU and KANITAMA is about to start. It is still going to be best of 3, which means if MATSU take game 2, he'll move on to the final against Takuzo. And this time, the pre-ban will probably fall on the Nephthys, and it'll be the Lima pre-ban as well. So taking away one Oracle of MATSU is going to be very important because his Oracle are very, very strong and annoying. First pick for KANITAMA. What is he going to do this time? Is he going to take the more away from MATSU? He's going to take the Oliver for himself, potentially leading to Mouse Rakuni. And the answer for the Oliver first pick will be More and Segment. So MATSU is not giving up turn 1. He still wants at turn 1. He wants to reset the enemy if possible. And the answer to that will be Yeonhong and Masha. Masha is extremely strong against a draft without any healing. And unit like Changpeng or Sagar will fall very quickly to a strong Masha. And Yeonhong is there to allow Masha to do that even more often with the attack by boost and the strip. So MATSU is going to go for the Mouse and maybe Rakuni or Changpeng here. But I think it's probably going to be Praha potentially. It's going to be Colonel for MATSU. You can go first, KANITAMA, but my Colonel is going to make you pay for going first with being very tanky and also providing a slow debuff and big damage for MATSU team. So the answer to this, KANITAMA might pick up a Camilla here who is very good into this position, if I'm not wrong. A double water last pick can be very beneficial at this point. It'll be Shizuka and Pada locking in 2 immunity provider, and Shizuka's going to provide even more than just immunity. So what is MATSU going to do to deal with this? He might pick up a Sagar to put out some cooltime reset, but Sagar might not be fast enough to deal with the Masha or the Yeonhong, and there are way too many units to reset over here. So he's going to go for a healer and protector instead with a Wusa last pick. Looking like it might be an Oliver ban here to keep his water unit out of the enemy cooldown reset. Segment's also being very strong here, so that might be a ban for KANITAMA because Segment can continuously reset the enemy unit because there's so much immunity going on. Cooldown reset of Segment will be only 2 turns, and that is very effective. Here we go, guys. It's going to be a bruiser draft for these 2 players, but they do have their respective good damage dealer, so the game can go down very, very quickly if something crazy happens. First turn strip, but no stun on the Yeonhong, which means she can strip or heal herself with her skill. That's going to be a strip on the Carno. This Carno might be in danger because the Masha can go straight into a kill here if she get the defense breakthrough. Immunity coming up from the Pada, and also a Violent Proc to heal the Yeonhong and providing big damage on this Carno. Carno is looking like he's going to go down to the Masha, and the Masha is not going to be able to take down the Carno. Carno surviving with 1 HP, but next turn the Yeonhong is about to move on the Shizuka and potentially take down the Carno as well. Carno will need to heal himself with a skill 2 here. Not going to go for the skill 3 for the damage and get the Violent Proc as well. Might be able to take down the Yeonhong if he crit all 3 hits. Is he gonna go for it? He's gonna go for the Masha, trying to dismount the Masha here. Heal himself back a little bit with the healing from the skill 2. Yeonhong's gonna heal the Masha, giving both these units a turn. And also the Masha is gonna go again and do a lot of damage. But the main killer is gonna be the Yeonhong here, finishing off the Chrono. One unit down for MATSU, but his team is still strong with Mouse and Wusa being able to do a lot of damage, ignoring enemy defense. And the target will be the Yeonhong because she is a crazy damage dealer for KANITAMA. MATSU is going to use all this buff for his mouse speed, going straight into the Yeonhong. And the biggest problem for Masha right now is that everyone on MATSU team is water. So it's not going to be easy for the Masha to do any real damage on the side of MATSU. Meanwhile, he's doing a lot of damage to the enemy Yeonhong. Pada looking for targets to stun, but everyone has immunity, so it's gonna go for the wild blow on the Mouse. But we all know Mouse is very, very tanky, being built with speed, HP, and defense and resistance, so it's not gonna go down anytime soon. But the Yeonhong with the healing available and the cooldown reduction from the Shizuka, allowing her to heal constantly and providing a lot more damage in turn for the team. And now she's back to being full HP. And she will also have the skill 2 available, but that's not going to be enough. Can Masha finish off the target? She would not crit the first hit to land her defense break, and the Moore is going to send a lot of damage onto KANITAMA team, and the Wusa is going to have his shield and healing next turn. This Mouse in a lot of trouble here. If the Pata and the Masha manage to kill him, he's going to go down very, very soon. Unless, no, the Yeonhong's going to drop first, but the Mouse is going to pay the price as well. But remember, KANITAMA has Shizuka, which means the Yeonhong is not truly out of the game just yet. She can come back from time to time to provide damage and healing for the team. But Moore and Wusa are both very strong damage dealer. And if they get their turns in, this might be troublesome for KANITAMA. The Shizuka might drop before she can provide the revive for the Yeonhong. Big damage on the Moore, and the Patter is gonna finish off the Moore as well. This might be GG. Wusa, the last one standing, but he's not the kind that can solo 3 targets on the enemy team. He's in a lot of trouble right now because everyone is going straight for him, and he's not having any immunity right now. Patter looking for stun. Patter, can you get that stun? No, it's gonna go for the wild blow. And that would not be enough to blow the Wusa out of the match just yet. But the Shizuka is going to put defense break on the Wusa, and the Masha crit as well. More damage coming out from KANITAMA, and he's going to take game 2. Perfectly executed, well drafted coming out from KANITAMA. Round 3 in this round 3 is coming right up between MATSU and KANITAMA, who will take this game home and move on to the next round to face Takuzo in the final. And this time, the pre-ban will probably go back to where it was with the Oliver and... Or maybe it's going to switch to a Changpeng Tian Lang pre-ban. No, it's going to be a more Tian Lang pre-ban. No more first pick for MATSU. And KANITAMA, what would you do in this position? Will MATSU go for the Oliver first pick into Mouse Rakuni? Or will he stick with a Shizuka first pick? It's going to be the Oliver first pick. And over there, it's going to be the Nephthys Mouse once again. So we are seeing very similar draft to game 1. And this will also break away the trio Oliver, Miles, Rakuni from MATSU. So he will have to go for the Praha and the Shizuka in this position, which means this will allow KANITAMA to go for the Cigar and Chiwu to control this Praha and Shizuka. Is he going to go for the strip, or is he going to stay safe and pick up a Juno and the Cigar? Because Juno is also pretty good in this position, taking away the counter of the Nephthys and countering the Shizuka with the same unit. He's going to go for Changpeng and Wusa instead, going for something to protect his team and something to control the enemy team at the same time. So seeing this, I think MATSU might be able to take up the Cigar here. He also have Lima in his position to go for more immunity and cleansing if he wants to. But maybe he's going to pick up a speed lead in something that we haven't seen before from his playstyle. It's going to be a Lima getting picked up by MATSU. And last pick, Volantis, will be the answer for this enemy draft, because Volantis can cut in between the Changpeng strip into AoE revenge strip and despair and provoke and glancing. It is a very scary unit. So are we seeing a Juno last pick coming out from KANITAMA? Because Juno can pretty much counter everything on the side of MATSU, and it's going to be a great force ban. And it's going to be a Juno last pick for KANITAMA here. The Juno is definitely going to go out, which means potentially KANITAMA will have to ban the Oliver and get the turn 1 advantage, or ban the Volantis so that his Changpeng can actually strip properly and maybe get some follow-up going in. Would be an Oliver or Volantis ban here for KANITAMA. No, it's going to be a Lima ban for KANITAMA. He will have to deal with a little bit of RNG from the Volantis here. Remember, the chance for Volantis to revenge is only 40%. It's not even that high, but it might happen. Here comes the first stun. Strip stun coming out from the Mouse. Will he go for the Praha for the stun here? He's going to go straight into the Shizuka, get a Vilepra as well, but doesn't get the attack for pushback. But MATSU's speed is way faster than KANITAMA. He's going to get the strip of the Praha into the Oliver, pushing back the Changpeng. Missed the pushback on the Changpeng right now. That is not looking good, but at least the Shizuka is going to put up the protection for the team, and more control coming out from the Volantis. Get the provoke on the Wusa. That is very important right there, not allowing the Wusa to get the immunity up. And there will be more damage roll-up coming out from this Volantis with a dot damage and despair stun onto the Nephthys as well. Pra have the heal and the sleep available, and she is going to use it, and she will not sleep herself thanks to the immunity of the Shizuka right there. And the Oliver will have his reset available for the Wusa when the Pra wake him up. Reset will miss on the Wusa, but don't worry about it because Praha will have the strip available. KANITAMA is in a lot of trouble here because the Changpeng doesn't have any skill, and the Nephthys is not going to be able to put out the debuff thanks to the immunity on the side of MATSU. Here comes the Violent from the Nephthys. There are 2 units of immunity. She is going to put on the debuff, but this, without any follow-up, is not a very good position to be in, and this will further strengthen the Shizuka skill 3. Pra is going to shake out the debuff with the Violent Proc, get the strip on everybody on the side of KANITAMA, and with Volantis follow-up, he might stun, doesn't get the stun, but did get the attack bar from the passive. And Oliver looking for a target right here. He needs to redeem himself with more cooltime reduction on the enemy. Doesn't get the Violent Proc though. But remember, Changpeng doesn't have any skill, and Wusa is going to take a lot of damage from this continuous damage right here. Moonlight Flood is going to get a Despair Stun onto the Nephthys, and the Wusa will have the skill 2 available, and they're going to drop it onto the Pra to do damage and heal for the team. But the dot damage is way too much for this heal to matter, and more healing can be coming out from the Praha, and it will come out and sleep the entire enemy team as well. That will buy so much more time for the Shizuka skill 3, and Oliver with the skill 3 available going straight into the Changpeng, missing the attack bar, but that is not going to be an issue because the Volantis is going to shut down the Changpeng turn as well. The Mouse getting a Violent Prop, but everyone on MATSU's full HP, and he cannot get a stun on the Volantis. Shizuka will have skill 3 available in the next turn very, very soon. He'll probably get another Violent Prop, and Oliver with the cooldown reduction from the Shizuka will have every skill available, and Changfeng's being constantly controlled with the Volantis dropping another AoE, and that will control the Changfeng and the mouse as well. Wusa's gonna go down. Shizuka will have every debuff on the field available, and that will be the perfect setup for the Praha and the Volantis damage, and everything on KANITAMA team will soon go down. One unit will go down first. That's gonna be the Wusa, and the next one might be the Nephthys. Big damage coming out from the Oliver. 10,000 shutting down the Nephthys as well. And the Volantis will stun the rest of the enemy. And GG! MATSU will take game 3. The veterans strike again with this unstoppable momentum going into the final against Takuzo. Will he take the cake and eat it too and get to the APAC Regional Cup